what sort of events are private equity firms now hosting? Maybe we can start with like do two things, right? Like one is big picture. What are the different types of events that are being hosted across the board for portfolio ops, right? And then like two is which of those are relevant as it relates to sourcing in this conversation?
So we see, to bucket things, kind of three types of events. You've got your in-person events. So that could be like your big executive summit and or smaller functional specific summits. So for example, some firms have a big annual meeting for LPs and they also lump that in with an executive summit. Some firms have a separate executive summit. Some firms it's only CEOs. Some firms it's like CEOs, CFOs, and select execs. And then some firms also have functional summits that are separate. So like this is our people leaders summit. This is our CTO summit. So those are the in-person ones. And for those, I think you invite prospects pretty selectively. Like you're pretty committed to a prospect before you invite them to one of those. There are some firms that do kind of regional dinners. Those are much cooler to invite prospects to. They're just more casual. And so it's like, hey, we're having a dinner. I'm in Denver. We're having a dinner in Denver and we're inviting all of our local portfolio companies and our prospect companies and some of our favorite local vendors and some of our LPs. Like it's just we're having regional meetups to kind of reinforce our presence in key markets. And those are cool to invite prospects to. The next big category of events are virtual events. And those kind of come in two flavors. So most of the firms that we work with have virtual events on more or less a monthly basis. And they kind of rotate through different functions where, January is CFOs and February is marketing leaders and March is technology leaders. So it's not like you're inviting your CTOs to an event every month, but you're hitting the CTOs 2 or 3 times a year and you're kind of rotating through different functional areas. And the format that we see most commonly is we're going to have a guest expert, either somebody from your network, like it could be what we call a portfolio rock star, which is like, hey, this is the CFO who does the best annual planning process in the portfolio. And we're just going to have him share his his annual planning process. And then we're going to discuss it and ask questions about it. Another is an advisor. So like, hey, we're going to bring in somebody from our executive advisory board. The CMO is just freaking awesome. And she's going to share her ABM playbook. And then the third is bringing in a third party, which could be, hey, we're going to bring in a compensation expert to talk about trends in compensation with our people leaders. All three of those work really well in that you have a conversation starter who's an expert, and then you have discussion among peers. And those are all really good to invite prospects to. And all three of those examples are things where you could invite a founder CEO, or you could tell the founder CEO, feel free to share this with your marketing leader, which is also cool because you get a little bit plugged in deeper into the executive team of that prospect company. And there might be some virtual events that you choose not to invite prospects to. A number of our clients have closed events that aren't open to their entire portfolio. It's only to a specific group. So for example, a CEO group that is really only for portfolio company CEOs. It's more of a closed door session. And so you might not invite prospects to that. But there are a lot of these where prospects would feel really welcome in place, very much an appropriate member of the group. The interesting thing is, even coming out of COVID, people are hungry to meet up in person, but it's not being done to death. And so I think there's still like significant appetite to go and meet with people in, physical spaces.